for hanging, people. I'm Lindsay Geektron, and this is LOLKings League Trends for the week of May 12th, 2015. This week, our featured champions include Ziggs, Nasus, Trundle, Twisted Fate, Kalista, and Morgana. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. Modest pick rates lead this week, starting with Jace up first, followed by Gnar, Cassiopeia, Ziggs, and Rengar. Ziggs! We talked about the Mad Yordle with bombs not too long ago, but he is starting to emerge in the professional scene thanks to something we didn't anticipate. Namely, his synergy with the new item, Luden's Echo. Ziggs is all about poke and wave clear, and the added damage from Luden's procs makes those things better. We mentioned the buffs to Athene's Unholy Grail as well last time. The item's mana regeneration isn't anything too crazy when just farming, but now it restores a whopping 30% of mana on kill or assist, so Ziggs players can spam recklessly during team fights. Ziggs has all the numbers he needs to be successful overall, but can still be a bit of a tricky champion to play. There was a nerf to the hitbox on his bouncing bomb a while back that made him a bit difficult to play, and Satchel Charge has always been a bit of a wonky ability. Ziggs will continue to see play, but he's probably not going to capture mainstream attention. No dramatic drops in popularity this week for Graves, Shyvana, Sion, Gragas, and Nasus. Farm Simulator, 1k stacks, D-Kane. Nasus is one of League's most memed champions and a mainstay of some streamers. As of this week though, he's had a downturn in popularity. The most likely culprit is the prim and proper Archduke Nasus skin, which was released in April. New skins create a temporary boost in popularity, and we're looking at the tail here. Well, I guess Nasus is a dog, so we're chasing the tail instead? I don't know. Nasus himself hasn't had any recent changes, but can seem a bit staid compared to some of the big teamfight tanks that dominate top these days. The lane matchup itself is often easy enough, but champions like Gnar or Sion can shove lane easily and make teleport plays elsewhere. Nasus isn't the greatest team fighter and can't interrupt other teleports, so it's somewhat inevitable that other champions do more for their team. He can, of course, become unstoppable as a split pusher with his siphoning strike stacks, but it does take time. Players need to farm, but also keep their lane opponent interested, otherwise they'll cede the rest of the map quickly. Don't expect too many Nasus players in the near future, but he won't be gone completely. Bard is at the top of the win rate increases this week. I don't even. Trundle, Xerath, Quinn, and Shyvana follow up. Time to troll. Trundle is another one of those Cinderhulk abusing top laners with the TP Smite spell combination. He's always a strong duelist, but adding the bonus damage and reduction from challenging Smite makes him downright smothering. Cinderhulk also solves one of Trundle's core problems, namely his lack of wave clear. Trundle has always been threatening as a split pusher, but doesn't have any way to cleave minions innately, so the Cinderhulk is a nice fix. One might think that Trundle's mobility isn't the greatest and that he'll miss having flash. Kind of true. He gets some bonus movement speed from Frozen Domain, but lacks a true gap closer. Even with flash, he usually lacks sticking power. The thing is, that's okay. Trundle doesn't need to deal damage in team fights. His job is to use his Subjugate ultimate on a tank and steal their stats so that he's a big frontliner himself. Getting some cooldown reduction to spam his ranged Pillar of Ice in fights also helps him disrupt the enemy's backline even if he can't get there himself. Trundle is a niche pick, but can definitely be strong in the Cinderhulk meta, so don't be surprised if he crops up more. Win rate decreases for the week include Ryze, Sion, Twisted Fate, Victor, and Vel'Koz. If you were keeping up with the mid-season invitational this weekend, you might have noticed that Westor from AHQ and Pawn from eventual champions EDG both pulled out a pocket Twisted Fate on the world stage. It might therefore seem a bit weird that his win rate is on the low side, but he is a champion that fits organized play a bit better. This has to do with Twisted Fate's lane matchups, specifically his weakness to assassins like Zed, LeBlanc, or Ahri. In professional play, teams have a particular strategy during the draft that can make a Twisted Fate pick safe. In solo queue, a Twisted Fate player runs the risk of the enemy team picking, say, Lee Sin with an assassin. Not fun. If you are going to pick Twisted Fate, try to pit him against an immobile and more passive mid laner, such as, say, Xerath. Start boots as well so you can dodge your skill shots, push the lane safely, and land your gold card when you roam with your Destiny ultimate. The same three usual suspects show up on the ban list increase this week. Kalista, Gragas, and LeBlanc stay on from last week, while Rek'Sai and Sejuani join them. Watchers of the Midseason Invitational will also have noticed Kalista being picked or banned in nearly every game. She and Urgot have emerged as the biggest bullies around when it comes to bot lane 2 versus 2. She's often picked with Annie in particular. The reason why is that the passive on Kalista's Sentinel deals a massive 12% current health as magic damage when it procs. That's the first rank too. The catch is that she and her Oathsworn support must attack the target within 2 seconds of each other. This is where Annie comes in. One of the biggest reasons Annie is a lane bully is that she has a surprising 625 range on her auto attacks. This long range allows Annie to get attacks down and consistently proc the bonus damage from Kalista. That said, Kalista is just a strong laner in general and not reliant on Annie specifically. The stacking damage from Rend is powerful in extended fights, and her Fate's Call ultimate can give any support the chance to make some big plays. Unless she's nerfed in the near future, you'll continue to see plenty of Kalista. Finally, the decreased ban rates this week begin with Sion, while Nidalee, Vi, Shyvana, and Morgana round it out. Morgana might be off the bans, but continues to be a particularly relevant support. The sustained supports that counter her, such as Nami or Sona, are just not popular at all. The strong auto attacks from a Janna lane can also be a bit troublesome, but otherwise Morgana matches up with all of the popular supports. Nautilus, Thresh, Leona, and more all struggle against the CC immunity that comes with Morgana's Black Shield ability. The shield can of course be broken, so don't expect it to last in a brawl, but when it comes to laning or the start of a fight, Morgana can frustrate many an enemy initiator. The meta has shifted somewhat, but Morgana still counters many of those in vogue. Hecarim or Gnar top, Rek'Sai, Sejuani, all can be shut out by a timely shield. That all said, Morgana doesn't initiate that well on her own, so she isn't banned that much anymore. Morgana can stifle enemy play, but she can also die very easily if she tries to get too aggressive with her Soul Shackle ultimate and be the initiator. Azani's Hourglass can help overall, but don't pick Morgana if you need to carry the team. She's more of a sit back and do your job kind of support. And that does it for this week's episode. Make sure you check back every Tuesday for the latest show. Like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this video around to all of your pals. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can find me on Twitch TV at Lindsay Geektron. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll see everybody next week.